Hi everyone, this is Yukti Rao from Yukti's Coaching Corner. I wanted to take a moment today to share with you 3 self-love practices. What do we mean by self-love first? I want to take a moment because we hear the word self-care a lot these days. Self-care is a way to connect with yourself so you can learn to love all parts of yourself, and that is self-love. Self-love is learning to love the good, bad, ugly. The things you like, the things you don't like about yourself, the things you judge in others. There's a part of you knows that exists in you and you don't like that about yourself. So self-love is actually being aware of the parts you like and don't like, accepting everything about yourself and loving yourself. And it is not a destination, it's a journey. We all discover things about ourselves we like and don't like as we go along in life. And being authentic and being truly honest with yourself is the very first step. And that itself can be challenging at times. But I help my clients do that. But once you build an awareness on certain patterns or certain things you like or don't like about yourself, you have to learn to accept those parts of yourself and then truly learn to love yourself. But while it sounds like a linear process, it's more like a spiral process. It's a continuous process. And there are certain practices we can invoke in our life to actually help us work through whatever emotions are coming up and truly learn, love, and accept ourselves. So the first practice I'm going to talk about is tapping, which I use to alleviate guilt. Guilt is one of those emotions that comes up that actually stops us from being in alignment with ourselves and truly loving ourselves. Guilt is actually considered a core wound that exists in most human psyche, and we often use guilt as a way of stopping us in our mind of doing a bad thing. So when we feel guilty, we feel like we've done something bad. And the interesting thing is that if we didn't do that and we did the opposite thing, we would still feel guilty. And I'll give you a simple example to clarify this for you. For example, you are busy at work and you have a lot of work to do, but you need to go for your son's or your daughter's school play. You know that you have a deadline at work and you have the school play, and this is a tough situation, so I'm putting it out there for you clearly. You feel guilty about leaving work when you go for your son or daughter's play, but if you missed it, you would feel guilty about working and not being there either. So that's a conundrum. But guilt often shows up in this way. It makes you feel like no matter what you do, there's something bad about it. Like sometimes self-care can make you feel guilty, like being able to tell your husband, hey, I need time to go out to actually spend time by myself, when that is the one evening he has free. You can feel guilty about that too. So guilt shows up in many, many, many different ways in our life, and for different people, different things make you feel guilty. But guilt behind it inherently means I am doing a bad thing. So pay attention to that, what's coming up. So I'm going to show you a simple technique we called EFT tapping to alleviate guilt. Okay. You will find lots of videos on YouTube on how to do tapping, but you can follow along right now, and you can use this using different words, different scenarios for yourself when you feel guilty about something. The way I do tapping, and this is a little different from the norm, is in tapping, what happens is you actually let the emotion that already exists, instead of denying it or avoiding it or saying it's okay, I don't really feel that, you actually evoke that emotion because it already exists in your body and let it come up. So when you're feeling guilt, the first step is to actually ask yourself, if I'm feeling guilt about not going to my son's play, what's the guilt number? Say, I feel guilty, the number, whatever comes between 1 to 10, whatever comes up, say you feel guilty like a number 8. So you will start tapping on that and say, Even though I feel guilty, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I feel really bad right now, I deeply and completely, see how I'm tapping it? Deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I feel miserable, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. On the other hand, if you're at work and you're missing your work, I feel guilty about missing work. Even though I feel guilty about missing work, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. I feel so guilty. Go top of your eyebrows, side of your eyes. I feel so guilty about missing work. I feel so guilty about missing work and going to the play. I feel so guilty. I have a deadline. Under your nose, under your mouth, on your chin. I feel so guilty about missing work and disappointing people, on your chest. Where your bra strap is, you can cross your arms like this or go like this. Let's see. I'm going to stand up for a second so you can see what I'm doing. I feel so guilty about missing work. I feel so terrible about missing work. I feel terrible. I feel so bad. I'm a bad employee and I'm doing a bad job. I feel so guilty. And I feel so guilty about missing my son's play as well. I can't miss his play either. I feel guilty about missing his play as well. I'm a bad mom. I am a bad mom and I'm a bad employee. I am a bad person. I feel so guilty. I feel so guilty. I feel so bad. I feel worried about my work. I feel worried about my work. But my son will be so disappointed. He will be so hurt. I don't want to hurt my son. I feel so bad. I feel like a terrible mom and I feel like a terrible employee. Do you notice your conundrum? It's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I feel so guilty. I feel so terrible. Feel so terrible. I feel so terrible. At this point, you may feel like your numbers going up. You'll feel a lot of guilt and you'll feel it somewhere in your body. Pay attention to where you're feeling it in your body and pay attention to the number, okay? I feel so guilty. I feel so terrible. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I either have to skip work or I have to skip my son's play. What choice do I have? I have no choice. So what do? I have no choice. And it makes me a bad employee or a bad mom. I have to do something bad. I feel so terrible about it. I feel so bad. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to choose. I don't know what to choose. I don't know what to choose. I feel so bad. And now we turn it around. But this is just a story. This is just a story. And I give myself permission to let go of this story right now. I give myself permission to let go of this story right now and embrace the truth. And the truth is that I'm fortunate. Go to gratitude. I'm fortunate to have a job. And I'm fortunate that I can go to my son's play. And I can make up for this work later on. And I can make up for this work later on. I can go to my son's play. And your answer might be different, by the way. You are following your intuition, your own inner guidance for what's coming up for you, okay? And I'm following what would come up for me. What would come up for me? I am a good employee and I will make up for it later on. My son, going to my son's play is really important to me. It's really important to me. So I am glad I can go to my son's play. I am grateful that I have this opportunity to watch my son, and I'm grateful that I work for a good company and I can take this time to go for my son's play. I can take this time to go for my son's play. I can take this time because I am good and I'm a blessing. So the opposite of guilt is I'm a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a blessing and I am good. I'm a good employee and I'm a good mother. And I'm grateful that I have both these opportunities, and I'm grateful to be able to avail of both these opportunities. I'm grateful to be able to go to my son's play, and I'm grateful to do my work later on. I'm grateful. I am good and I'm grateful and I am a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a blessing and I am good. I'm a good mother and I'm a good employee and I'm a blessing and I am blessed. I am a blessing and I'm blessed. Stay on your chest, your heart space, your fingers all over. This releases, lets the emotion come up. I am grateful for both these opportunities and I am a blessing and I am a good mother and I am a good employee. Put both your hands on your heart chakra or on your physical heart. Take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, let all that emotion stored in your body release through, feel it go through your legs into the bottom of, through your bottom of the feet, through the bottom of your feet into the earth. And now check in. I feel guilty about not going to my son's play, and I feel guilty about leaving my work early. What should I do? And see if your numbers dropped. We started at 8. It might have gone up to 10 when we were tapping initially. And then as we changed it, because all this guilt is just a story. If you noticed, you were stuck between a rock and hard place because that's how it works. Guilt often works. But as you became grateful for both the things, both the opportunities, and you got more clarity as you were tapping on what felt more in alignment with you, and for everybody that can be different. Please understand that. The answer can be different. In this situation, you may think not so, but in many situations, the answer can be different for A and it can be different for B. And you have to follow your truth. That's the whole point. When you do that and you continue to tap and you convert it into the positive, because the negative was guilt, the positive, you turned it into gratitude for the situation, and then you turn it into positive by saying, I am good, I'm a good employee, I'm a good mother, instead of being that I do bad things, and I am a blessing, which is the opposite of guilt, which is the affirmation for feeling guilty. I feel guilty or I am doing bad things. The opposite of that is I'm a blessing. You did that. And as you released all the emotions stored in your body and you let the truth come up and you check in with the number. For me, the number right now is about 3. And where do I feel it? I feel it in my belly a little bit. You can check in and then you can continue tapping. Okay, until you get the number to a 0. And at this point, once you reach the number 3, you can tap on more of the positive. Even though I may always feel guilty, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I may always feel bad about missing the play, missing things with my kids, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I may always feel guilty and bad about missing things at work, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. I feel guilty about missing things at work, and I feel guilty at missing things with my kids. And sometimes I can't do both. So I feel guilty and I feel bad. I feel bad. But this is just a story, and it's a lousy story. And I give myself permission to let go of this story right now. I give myself permission to let go of the story right now and embrace the truth. The truth is that I have both opportunities, and I'm grateful for both opportunities. Because I am a good employee and I'm a good mother. That's why I have these great opportunities. I am good, I'm a good employee, and I'm a good mother. And I'm a good person. And I am a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a blessing. I am a good mother and I am a blessing. I'm a good employee and I'm a blessing. And I am blessed. I'm a blessing and I am blessed. Yes, 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 yes. Release, let all of it flow out your legs, from your feet into the earth, grounding yourself. If you need, you can feel that there are roots growing out from under your feet, and all that negative energy is flowing out into the earth, going to the core of the earth where it's converted to light. You can take another deep breath, let it all go, and check in. For me, it's now 0 because I can see the falsehood in the guilt. So that is your self-care, self-love practice number 1. Because recognizing your emotions, accepting them, allowing them, and then being grateful for whatever situation brought up those emotions, or whatever person brought up those the emotions, and then converting it into the positive is, and the reason we do it with tapping is because you actually store all these emotions in your body, and this actually converts the energy in your body itself. It's not just mental, energetic, it's also emotional, it's also physical. So that is why this is your self-love practice number 1, letting go of guilt, because guilt gets in the way of loving yourself and making choices which are truly in alignment with who you are. That's why self-love practice number 1 is tapping to get rid of guilt. In any situation where you're feeling guilty, often sadness and anger and judging others can also be associated. The underlying emotion can be guilt. And I talk more about it in other videos. But for this video, this is where we stop. Now, the second practice for self-love is very simple. It's very, very simple. It's actually just breathing. Because when you feel off-center, just being with your breath aligns you and centers you. So a very simple technique. This is something you can use anywhere, anytime. Going into a meeting when you're berating yourself and saying, I don't know if I did this properly. I don't know if people will listen to me. Or if you're in a situation where you are unsure of yourself, you have doubts about what you're doing. Any of these situations, and these are just examples, any situations in which you feel off kilter and it's hard for you to see yourself as the powerful being you are and really love yourself, you can take a few moments and take deep breaths. And I don't mean just breaths like just for the sake of breathing. I want you to firmly plant your feet on the ground. Okay. This is not the best place for this. My chair. Firmly plant your feet on the ground. Feel like you have roots growing from your feet. Stand hip width apart and feel like your weight, like your hips are pushing you down into the ground. And you might want to bend your knees a little bit. And breathe in, breathe in deep. Making your belly big as you breathe in. Breathe into your sacral area and your root area, all the way down here. Hold your breath. Breathe in for 5. Hold your breath for 5. As you breathe out, feel the breath going down into the earth. Allowing your hips to open so all the emotion and tension can flow down. Again, one more time. We're going to do it one more time. Deep breath into 5, expanding your belly fully as you breathe in. 3, 4, 5. Hold. 3, 4, 5. Release. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you do this a few times, you will see you can actually do it not so obviously, even standing in the checkout line in the grocery store. If you do this for 5 breaths, you will see your body release all that tension and emotion and come into alignment. And why do I call it a self-love practice? Because when you are in this place of doubting yourself and in anxiety and worry, you're not in a place of loving yourself or accepting yourself for who you are. So it's a very important practice. Now, this is something you can do anywhere, any place. The tapping is something you can do whenever big things are coming up, taking out time. It takes about 15 minutes to do it. One practice that I encourage all my clients to do every day, if they can, and this they can do first thing in the morning, is a practice of saying I love you to themselves. Now, I know that's a very hard practice to do. So how we start is taking a baby picture of yourself. You know, even if you don't like how you look now, or you're critical about what's going on in your life, you go back and look at a picture of yourself when you were a baby, and you will see that you really can't help but think that baby is cute and lovable. So find a really cute, lovable picture of yourself as a baby and keep that in front of you. Maybe you keep it by your bedside table. And in the morning when you get up, you look at that baby and you just simply say, I love you 3 times. And maybe initially it might be hard. Maybe emotions will well up. Maybe you'll feel like crying because you haven't actually loved that part of you for a very long time. This child within you that still is there needs that love, needs that acceptance. So it's an important part of your journey to do that. And this is an important part of the inner child work we do in our group. So with these 3 practices, I leave you. One that you can do daily, which builds up over time. Because as you do it more and more, saying I love you to yourself as a baby, and then eventually you'll build up to being able to say that to yourself looking in the mirror into your eyes. You truly hear yourself and truly learn to love yourself. Then the practice of guilt is to take care of different situations in your life where guilt evokes and takes you away from self-love. And then the practice of breathing is in any moment you're feeling anxious, worried, self-doubt, to actually bring yourself back to center and to loving yourself. I hope all these 3 practices help you and you can incorporate them in your life. I would love to hear from you what your experience with each of these practices was, how you incorporated in your life, and so please leave me comments. I would really appreciate whatever comes up for you, sharing that with me. Again, this is Yukti Rao from Yukti's Coaching Corner signing off. I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me today. Bye.